Okay. Yep. So my name is Goldson. I'm a painter and illustrator. I'm working here in Budapest. I've been doing this for about 25 years, and I'm still doing it.
When will you stop?
I worked till I don't know if I'm going to be cremated or just fall off a building or something. I don't know. That's when I'll stop. I'll probably be sketching on the way down, you know. Probably will. I should explain that when I worked in sculpture, the sculpture tutors when I was at university said sculpture is the first art. You know, they anything else is a lesser form of art. Painting and printmaking, they're for people who can't handle the pressure. Once you leave university, I didn't have much money. I actually quite liked watercolor painting, and it's very cheap. You can travel with it. I started using watercolor to paint small pictures, but then developed it into bigger finished pieces. By working in watercolor, most of the time I had to learn to paint. I had to learn about color and painting, and especially watercolor, which is one of the most difficult painting mediums to learn. I went through many phases of every 5 pictures I did, 4 of them would be ripped up and just thrown in the bin because they're not up to the standard that I tried to keep. I met a lovely lady in a bar in London. We both worked in the bar, and she was from Hungary, and that's my wife Ildiko, and that's why I'm here basically. So when I arrived in Hungary, I didn't really know what to do, and I didn't really know what I wanted to depict, paint, draw, and it took about six months to a year to figure out that, well, why don't I just paint the place I've come to. I actually found Budapest quite exotic, and I started traveling around, walking around town and drawing. I don't know, drawing people and the buildings. It's like a giant stage set. I had to do other things, and I've always done other things to support the painting, if you like. And gradually over time, the painting is now my income. When I sold my first painting here, it was from an exhibition in a pub, and I put up, I think, about 10 pictures. It was to do with showing the local scene, local people, and there's a bit of humour in it. I think it was to do. The picture was Night Bus. I can't remember quite right what it was. The reaction to my pictures in that pub was actually positive. They would go, "Oh, this is typically Budapest," or "This is typically 8th District Budapest," or something like that. It made me feel good, and because I hadn't been asked to do this, I just went and looked at things and saw them from my own particular perspective. A lot of art lacks a lot of humour, and I think there's nothing wrong with humour. I think it's a very important aspect of culture, of art. I think it's part of my personality. I like cracking jokes all the time, and it's probably annoying to a lot of people. Sometimes it's toilet humour, sometimes it's sophisticated humour. So maybe it's better and safer if I keep it in picture form so people can choose when to look at it or not. I was taught at university, like, your sketchbook is the most important thing, so you must put everything in it. And I kind of learnt that, and that's what I generally do. So I live down the road, so I usually look around my neighbourhood. It's the easiest thing. A lot of interesting things happen around here, and I like sitting here for coffees. I have to feel comfortable. I like occasionally I like sitting back and having a coffee and just winding down a little bit. But also, I mean, I like places where there's a lot of people moving through the area, or getting off trams, or sitting in the cafe, and you can basically be incognito in a place like this and just draw. I'm using my artistic training to capture something that most people see, and you're just pointing their eyes in a certain direction, especially in today's day and age when a lot of people are actually looking at their phones, and you kind of just want them to look around. And not that that's a bad thing, but look around a bit more. You start asking yourself questions. I wonder what that person does. I wonder what kind of food they eat. I mean, what do they do? What do they do when they're like, I don't know, when they're at home, or I don't know. I don't want to get personal or anything. You just some people can make you curious. I wonder what they're like. So, I suppose in terms of painting, I really push myself. I'm almost a perfectionist because I do have I want to reach a very high standard in the craft. I'm always criticising my pictures silently. Probably I look at it and go, no, that's just not. There's not enough. You should have approached it in a different manner. What are you trying to show here? So there's too much emphasis on this character when it should be on that. Your background is too blurred. This needs to come forward. You've used the wrong colours here. Or it's too wooden or too cardboardy. Can I turn my artist's mind off? I can't. No, I don't know. I've never been able to go anywhere without recording it in some form or another. I don't know why. I seem to enjoy it more because I can, but I'm going to use my memory to go back there and draw it down or something. I actually enjoy depicting things like this. I'm laughing to myself. Sorry, I'm laughing to myself as I'm drawing the what I've just seen in my book. I don't know how my family would view me. I mean, because they see me. I'm always in this room. I'm always painting, unless I've got other things to do. But most of the time I'm doing this, so maybe they think I'm just a bit silly or a bit strange. I suppose they just got used to me. I think they like it. Well, I hope they like it. If they don't, nobody's actually said anything that they don't like it. But sometimes they do say you spend too much time painting and not doing other things. So they're right in that respect. They are absolutely right. I can't leave it alone. My wife does sometimes say to me when we travel, and I'm just going to paint this, I'm just going to paint that, and I could spend the whole day doing it. So, and sometimes, yes, you do have to cut off and leave it alone for a little bit. But generally, I can't. I don't know. It makes me it seems to make me. This is what I think anyway. It makes me relevant. I don't know, by continuously drawing. Makes me valid. I don't think I could change the fact that I'm always painting. I think it makes me me. Quite frankly, that's unfortunately or fortunately, that's how I see it. And unfortunately for them, maybe, I don't know. Let's show you some of my sketchbooks here. I've got a few of them here. I don't know what's in them. I never label them or anything, but I think I have a few here. Sometimes I just flick through them. Drawings of faces and people I see. And this, actually this one I took to, I was in Sicily last year, and these are some pictures I did on the spot in Sicily. My next picture is going to be a picture of, from Sicily. I do go back to them. I always go back to them. I kind of like the, you know, again I use the sketchbooks on the bus to school. So these are people standing on the bus, sitting on the bus, usually people looking at their phones, things like this. Some people in a bar. You can see a little cafe table there. Breaking things down, just using simple colours. I imagine myself in a flat, and basically up on Bartók Béla, and I drew this first before I went there, and I found a flat that fitted what this looked like, and I drew the whole thing from standing there, and I can show you the finished piece now, which is basically, that's the finished work there as a print, but that's basically where it came from. A guy who actually lived there said to me, "Oh, it's actually more or less what it looks like," because I haven't seen that view. The view is there, I know, but I haven't actually seen it. I just imagined that that's probably what you'll see. This is from a market that I was at the weekend. They're just people standing around. They're very quick drawings. They're about 10-20 seconds each.
Can you sketch one for us?
Pardon? Can I
you sketch one for us? And
yeah,
say how you start and how you finish?
Yeah, sure. I can actually try. Yeah, sure. Okay, so before I start, it's a good way of learning to draw, because you're totally reliant on your eyes. Your brain really doesn't come into it. You're looking, and as you look, and as your eyes move around the figure you're drawing, the information goes right to your fingertips and the pencil. So if I'm going to draw him, Samu, now, I'm looking occasionally. Yeah, but that's kind of you, but it's just it's really it's not exactly you, but I mean, again, that's about 40 seconds or a minute. I don't know how long it took, but you can. So I learned to draw quite fast because people move, and you have to memorize them. And I think it's good training for people this age. I'm mid-50s, or coming up to mid-50s. I feel more like a teenager than I've ever done. The trouble is, your body doesn't. It doesn't go along with the whole idea. I want to be remembered as someone who pointed out that there's a good time to be had. There's a lot to look at. There's a lot to enjoy during a certain period of time. I contributed to that. That I showed people that there's fun to be had with the mundane, with the boring, and that you don't really have to have much to enjoy yourself. And it's okay. It's an aspect of just to look, and you reflected a period of time in a place that I find special, Budapest.